Good morning to all who are watching my video. I, Smita Khedkar, is a student of Masters in Pharmacy from the Pharmaceutics Department. Today, on the date 2nd May, I am presenting a seminar from my home due to the current situation of our country, that is, the spread of the pandemic disease, the COVID-19. My seminar topic is Targeted Drug Delivery System. In this topic, I would be including the basic introduction, what was the concept behind developing such a system, then the main objective, the need, the ideal properties of targeted drug delivery system, the component and the requirements to develop a successful targeted drug delivery system, the strategies, or we can say the types involved in formulation of the system, and in the last, its advantage, disadvantage, and the applications. So basically, in the simple language, the targeted drug delivery system means where the drug acts only on the targeted site and not on the normal tissue cells or the non-target sites. The medicament is released only at the diseased tissue, and thus this is its main goal. It is the direct treatment of the infected body organ, and thus it avoids the side effects which are caused to the healthy organs. Now we'll see the concept, that is from where it has been originated. The Paul Ehrlich was a German physician and a scientist who gave the concept of magic bullet. He said that it's possible to kill specific microbes, the microbes which are causing the disease, without harming the body itself. It's just like a bullet fired from a gun to hit a specific target. And there could be a way similarly to target only the invading microbes. He published his first report on the targeted drug delivery system as a drug carrier complex or a conjugate which will be delivering the drug exclusively to the pre-selected target cell in a specific manner. Then the main objective behind developing such a system is that to selectively and effectively localize the pharmacologically active moiety, that is our specific drug, at the pre-selected target in the therapeutic concentration, and thus it will restrict its access to the non-target sites, that are the normal cellular linings, and therefore it will minimize the toxic effect and maximize the therapeutic index, that is the drug action, for example in the cancer therapy. And now where can this drug be delivered is the three sites can be targeted, specifically the capillary bed of the active sites, that is the capillaries, blood vessels which are surrounding our active site, or to a specific type of cell, that is considered a tumor cell and not the normal cell, or to a specific organ or a tissue. Then why there was a need to develop such a targeted drug delivery system? When this came into the mind of scientists that we should develop a targeted drug delivery system, when they saw that there are various reasons behind the failure of the treatment. There are mostly three types of failures: can be pharmaceutical reason, a pharmacokinetic reason, or a pharmacodynamic reason. Basically in pharmaceutical reason, the two main are drug instability and its low solubility. Both of this would endly result to the less therapeutic effect, and also in pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics, the poor absorption, short half-life, low specificity, low therapeutic index will eventually result in the decrease in the drug efficacy, and a treatment would not achieve its complete therapeutic effect. Now we'll see what are the ideal properties for this targeted drug delivery system, means which of the properties we must keep in mind while developing such a system. The main property is that whichever system we are developing, it must be non-toxic, it should be biocompatible, biodegradable, and physico-chemically stable in vivo, also in vitro. Also, the system must be able to restrict the drug distribution only to the targeted cells and not to the normal cells. It should release the drug in already predicted controllable rate. Also, it should release the drug in the therapeutic amount, and the carrier which we are using, it must be biodegradable or readily eliminated from the body without causing any harm to other body tissues or modulating the disease state. And also its preparation should be easy, it should be reasonable, and it should be reproductive and cost effective. The next we are seeing what are the basic components we would consider while developing this kind of system. The two basic components are the target and the drug carrier, and obviously the drug itself. But we'll see the target. What is the target? It would be any organ or a tissue or a cell which needs the treatment. And the drug carrier, or it's also known as the marker, it is the one who will carry our drug to the pre-selected or our site of interest. Basically, these are some specifically engineered vectors which can hold the drug inside them and release that drug only at the target sites. Now also the question arises, what kind of carrier we must choose, how the carrier should have its property. So we'll see what are the ideal properties of drug carrier. Basically, it should cross the barriers. Our barriers like physiological barriers or our blood barriers, all these barriers, it should be able to cross them and reach to the selected target cells. Then secondly, it should form a linkage between the drug and the ligand, and that linkage should be stable. Whatever linkage we are forming between the drug, the ligand, it should be stable in plasma or interstitial or biofluids. Also the main thing, the carrier should be non-toxic, non-immunogenic and biodegradable. It should not cause any toxicity or any other immune responses, and it should get degraded inside our body and eliminate through our elimination system. Also the carrier system must release the drug inside the target organs or the tissues or the cells and not to the non-targeted cells. So next, now we'll see what is the main principle behind this, what is the main rationale behind this drug targeting. After various researches and the studies, the scientists have found that when the free drug is given to a patient, it undergoes various changes, like there can be inactivation or some bioenvironmental factors might affect them, and it also has an access to the non-target site. Thus, the free drug is less available on the target site due to less affinity, and thus there is limited effect of that drug. So, there became the need to increase the affinity, its access to the target site, and thus the drug has been incorporated into a carrier, and this has resulted into the target site activation, that is the drug reaches to the target site and it has shown the improved therapeutic availability. Next, there are some principal requirements for developing this system. First of all, it should retain, it should evade, it should target and release. These are the four main requirements. That is, there should be proper loading of the drug into the appropriate drug delivery vehicle. It should be able to escape the body's defense mechanism, that is the body's secretions, and it should protect itself from the degradation and reach to the site of interest and then only release the drug at that site. There is a small video which will describe all these things in a very simplified manner. The main problem in injecting conventional therapy such as chemotherapy is that the medicament affects the entire body and not only the sick cells, and thus the side effects observed are very dangerous and severe. Thus the scientists are developing a system that will pass the body target even to a particular cell to its nucleus. They are creating a system made up of a special polymer and a medication that can distinguish between healthy cell and cancerous cells. This system travels through the blood vessel and identifies the targeted site. They enter the cell after identification of the target, and then they travel towards the nucleus. Once they reach the nucleus, release the medicament and shows its action. The rest body cells are safe. Thus, by this specific polymer and smart guidance, we can produce effective healing without side effects. So, such kind of targeting can be achieved basically by two ways. That is the active targeting and the passive targeting. And also in active targeting, there are three ways of targeting: first order, second order and the third order. So now we'll see one by one. the passive targeting first. In passive targeting, the targeting is done into the systemic circulation. That is, normally the drug system is administered to the systemic circulation, and the further process occurs by the body's natural response. That is, the drug and the drug carrier system is carried through the body's natural response towards the reticuloendothelial systems, which are especially present in the liver and spleen. And there are colloids which have the ability only to be taken up by the RES. And thus, this kind of system, this kind of passive targeting is ideal substrate for passive hepatic targetings of the drug. The next is the active targeting. In this approach, the carrier system bearing drug reaches the specific site of the basis of modification made on its surface rather than the natural uptake by RES. That is, in the previous slide, we have seen that the RES is taking up our colloids. But in active targeting, we are modifying the surface of our drug system so that it will not be taken by the RES. That is, the surface modifications are taking place either by coating on the surface with a bioadhesive or a non-ionic surfactant or a specific cell or tissue antibodies, or by albumin protein or any other ligands. And this coating, this modification is specific to that specific target. In active targeting, we are having three types of targeting: the first order, second order, and the third order. It is very simple to understand. The first order is organ targeting. That is, we are directly targeting the organ. For example, we are targeting the brain, we are targeting the liver, we are targeting the lungs, or any other organ. In second order, we are specifically targeting the cells, some basic tumor cells. And in the third order, we are targeting the intracellular spaces, that is, the space between the cells. Now, here is the basic explanation about passive targeting and active targeting. For example, here, when the drug vesicles are going through our blood vessels, they penetrate through the pores present between the endothelial cells of our blood vessels. In passive targeting, the drugs and vesicles, the drug is released towards the cell. But in active targeting, there are particular ligands present on our cell which are our receptors, and the drug binds to our receptor, and there is the binding between the ligand and the receptor, and because of that it gets engulfed into the cell. Thus, this is the basic about the active targeting and the passive targeting. Now we'll see what is the main advantages of this kind of system, that is the targeted drug delivery system. The first and foremost advantage is that the treatment efficacy. That is, we get the desired therapeutic effect to its fullest. And again, it improves patient compliance. Why? How does it improve patient compliance? When we are giving conventional dosage forms or when we are giving a simple drug, it happens so that the drug is getting wasted, either by degradation or either by other elimination pathways or by going to the non-target sites. But in this system, it is specific to the target site, it is not getting degraded, and thus the frequency of dosing is decreased. Therefore, there is improved patient compliance. Obviously, since its access to the non-target sites, to the normal tissues are very less means it's equal to none. Therefore, decreased toxic effects, increased specific localization, the pharmacokinetics can be modulated, and obviously there is no need to add extra dose which gets wasted in elimination or degradation or to the non-target site. We need to add only the required therapeutic amount of dose. That's why the reduced dose. These are the basic advantages of developing targeted drug delivery system. But yes, of course, each research has its own pros and cons. So here the main disadvantage becomes the high cost. It's not easy to develop such a targeted drug delivery system. We have to buy a specific polymer, we need to modify the surface of the drug, or we need to incorporate drug into the polymer, we have to search for the ligands, we have to search for the specific receptors. So it requires high cost, high research. Then again, if we are using some antigen antibody kind of study, there can be immune reactions against the carrier systems. Also, sometimes it can so happen that there is insufficient localization and thus a system can fail, and also there can be rapid clearance of a targeted systems. So this can be the disadvantages of the targeted drug delivery system. But if we compare, the advantages are more and the disadvantages are less. So we can develop this kind of system to achieve the therapeutic effect. Now, the most important thing is the application, where we can apply this kind of system. The first and foremost is that in the treatment of such a various kinds of disease like cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, to treat the cancer tumors. Many times we have seen that in cancer, if we are giving the chemotherapy, the cells which are surrounding our cancerous cells are getting destroyed, the immune system is decreasing, and ultimately the person is day by day getting iller and ill. So thus there are various side effects. Therefore, in the treatment of such diseases like cancer, tumors, diabetes, we can specifically target those tissues, those cells, and increase the efficacy of drug and protect the patient from side effects. Also, the intracellular infections can be targeted using the intracellular targeting. The liposomes can be prepared. Liposome is a kind of targeted drug delivery system for the tuberculosis, which helps in the penetration and it increases the concentration at the infectious site and thus treats the TB disease. Also, we can improve the therapeutic efficacy of the drug by reducing side effects. The brain targeting system is used to treat the brain disorders. So these are the some applications of targeted drug delivery system, and hence we conclude here that targeted drug delivery is essentially implies for selective, effective localization of what? Of the pharmacologically active moiety in therapeutic concentration, and because of this we get a good response from the body towards our drug, and the patient can be cured very easily in an effective way. And also we have seen that there are various strategies to develop depending on where we have to target, which cells we have to target. There can be active targeting, passive targeting, then also there are various other targeting methods to achieve the effective drug targeting. And also the most importance it has found is in the cancer chemotherapy, which always demands for a reduction in adverse effects. So this is all about my seminar. I hope I have been able to explain the basic introduction of targeted drug delivery system, its strategies to develop, how can we do the drug targeting, how can we achieve the well developed and well effective drug targeting, increase the therapeutic efficacy. So I thank you all for giving your precious time. Thank you.